When it comes to technology, it's not just what meets the eye. To be a leader in the decade, one has to leverage insights and forge strategic partnerships for business transformation. Nitin Bhatt, the managing partner technology sector EY, now gives us an exclusive view on how ITES enterprises are exploring strategic partnerships, all of this to create compelling business propositions.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rajiv Peddada, and I'm the industry advisor at Microsoft for the ITES vertical. All things digital continue to accelerate. As experience and insights come to the forefront of business priorities, technology has become a key lever for driving growth. Security, responsibility, and sustenance are key aspects of consideration for enabling growth. These and many more emerging trends in the IT industry are the ones that the industry is looking for as it embraces an unprecedented growth. It's my pleasure to welcome Nitin Bhatt, technology sector lead at EY, for this discussion. Nitin, welcome to the discussion.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Nitin, if you really look at the technology sector for the last 2 years, should I use the word evolving, resilient, or really embracing the business priorities? What we have seen is past reflection of the future. I would like to get some of your thoughts around what is the future direction of tech sector in India.
Rajiv, I think it's a terrific time for the Indian tech sector as technology continues to bring out human imagination and creativity, drive the next wave of innovation and transform industries. And really, as you said, if we look at the last 2 years, what tech companies have done has been outstanding in helping businesses, governments, and society at large get through the pandemic, from enabling remote work to supporting critical infrastructure, health and humanitarian assistance. I think tech companies have really delivered during the tough times. And all of this has been with a very sharp focus on customer relevance, go-to-market agility, and execution intensity. And all of that has delivered fantastic results. The sector is over $225 billion today and continues to be a critical pillar of the Indian economy, with 8% contribution to GDP and the creation of over 5 million jobs. The Tier 1 tech sector companies are all playing in the big league today, winning multi-billion-dollar deals, winning more than a third of all the managed services deals awarded globally in 2021. Most of these companies are looking at solid double-digit growth over the next 12 months. Sold work, pipeline, utilizations are at all-time highs. And the good news is that even the small and mid-caps are increasing deal sizes and growing rapidly. Of course, are there headwinds? Yes, there are. Rising attrition, inflationary pressures, supply chain disruptions. But overall, we do believe that the Indian tech companies are on a multi-year growth cycle, where perhaps we are seeing a significant re-rating over the last 2 years when you look at least the top 5, top 10 companies. What's interesting is that management commentary, which is quite conservative in the sector, has been unusually bullish. And while current valuations can be debated, overall, we're seeing a lot more optimism than pessimism. And if the current momentum continues, which I believe it will, the Indian tech sector could become a $350 billion to $400 billion industry by 25-26. So I'm quite bullish on the Indian tech story, and I do believe that the best is yet to come.
Well, let's talk about the terrific growth numbers, right? While so much is happening, do you really, I really want to understand what's driving the growth in the industry. Is it that the organizations are picking what is considered to be the coolest trend, or are they really picking the most pertinent trends? Some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there are several factors at play, Rajiv, but let me touch upon 3 key drivers. The first is the digital tsunami that we've seen since the pandemic. We're seeing continued growth in digital spending across sectors. The key themes are cloud and cost reduction, supply chain transformation, data and AI, customer experience, and also lots of work around trusted technologies for building assets and platforms with a huge focus on security, privacy, compliance, and ethical tech ecosystems. We're also seeing lots of co-innovation that's happening with customers, in areas like digital twins, robotics, and now the metaverse. The second trend, I think, is the evolution of pricing models, which has given customers additional comfort when they partner with Indian tech services companies. And while classical outcome based contracts have been around for a long time, we're also seeing productivity linked models and upfront cash infusions in deals as signing bonuses, which is a huge comfort. The third trend has been the coming of age of mid cap IT companies. Now, what's remarkable is that many of the companies in this space have outperformed the sector as a whole. And there are a couple of reasons for this. First is the distinctive brand they've built over the years with their unique assets and industry specific platforms. Second, they're frequently focused on projects that require deep engineering expertise, and these are often too small for the tier ones to be attractive. And third, of course, customers love the flexibility of a mid tier company and the direct access they get to the C suite. So, Rajiv, I think some of the mid caps will grow very rapidly over the next several years. And for me personally, it's going to be a space that's going to be very interesting to watch.
Nitin, what you've covered probably addresses the entire aspect of any enterprise, right? What I would really like to really deep dive into is what's the top of the mind in the boardrooms with the CEOs. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, reducing attrition, winning large deals, and increasing digital revenue have all been on the agenda for some time, as we know. There are two other themes around margins and M&A. Margin erosion, as we all are aware, is a big worry today. We think margins will be under great pressure over the next few quarters, especially as payroll and other costs increase. Companies will need to really focus in on critical levers to protect margins, such as the on-site offshore mix, the people pyramid, bench management, subcontractor spends, and SG&A optimization. They'll also need to get better pricing on digital deals, plug revenue leakages, and transform service delivery. And this includes better efficiency gains from automation. Another theme is M&A, and we saw significant deal momentum last year, largely for building domain strength and market access. And while we're beginning to see some caution now, there's a very high interest still in covering the cloud value chain, from strategy to migration to managed services. And besides cloud, the other key M&A themes we're seeing are AI ML, RPA, analytics, UI UX, and cybersecurity. And strategic buyers we're seeing are mostly preferring to place smaller bets and focus on tuck-ins, which for the most part are capability and talent plays. The financial buyers, on the other hand, have been a lot more active compared to the strategics. In fact, several of the mega deals last year were stitched together by private equity players, and their investment thesis was focused on creating platform plays. So looking ahead, M&A will continue to be a key priority in the near to medium term.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the attrition scenario that's going on, right? For me, I think the numbers remain constant, the periodicity changed. What used to be an annualized attrition numbers now ended up becoming quarterly numbers, right? And that's a big concern for the industry. What's your advice on the talent transformation that organizations should embark on?
Rajiv, we're advising companies to focus on a couple of areas. First, they need to take a relook at their traditional recruitment channels, their catchment areas, hiring velocity, deployment velocity, and really make the entire hire to retire cycle future ready for the age of hybrid work. That's one. Second, we have to generate better real-time data on employee pulse and use it to drive better engagement. Advanced AI techniques today can do a great job in assessing sentiment and giving us early warning signals. And of course, Teams and Viva Insights are powerful tools for this kind of analysis. Third, companies need to rethink if their stated purpose, their culture, and brand promise are indeed authentic, distinctive, and inspirational for today's workforce. If managers are indeed living the company's values when it comes to flexibility, fairness, and inclusion, and if learning and skilling and career journeys are customized to help employees realize their aspirations. All the surveys that we've conducted and our research that we've done shows that these factors play a significant role in talent retention. Finally, another important area is automation for FTE release. For example, there's a lot of scope for hyper-automation of delivery processes. It can involve building microbot factories, reusable components, low-code, no-code platforms that can be leveraged across accounts and sectors. This, I believe, is a must-do for all companies as they prepare for the next wave of growth. I truly believe that the worker-workplace construct has changed forever, and talent transformation will really have to reframe strategies around each of these elements in order to deliver results.
Thank you for that. While we spoke about the people, I think one of the critical aspect in the enterprises is what is the transformation that's happening on the processes and the systems to really give a connected enterprise ecosystem experience?
Great question. What we're seeing is that companies are beginning to focus on being digital to get better at doing digital for their customers. And what this means is building operational muscle around process and technology, and most important, data discipline. We're seeing a focus on a few fundamentals here. Not surprisingly, cloud is key, which involves the need to adopt modern architectures to enable a cloud-first and mobile-first enterprise IT strategy. The second is cognitive services that can be leveraged across the enterprise, and companies are finding some interesting use cases in deploying these, for example, in the area of employee experience. Another area is persona-inspired interactions for employees for reduction of noise from multiple enterprise applications. And this is all about building platforms to enable single window functionality for customized interactions. Let me give you another example. In the area of revenue acceleration, for instance, digital has helped modernize inside sales, provided better strategies for pursuit enablement, provided a unified customer view, and enabled the convergence of customer insights, which ultimately helps the sales team, the account manager, and all of those involved with the customer pitch. We've seen similar, very high impact cases, in fact, across other functions and processes like order to cash and financial reporting, where digital transformation is driving outcomes such as cost optimization, risk management, and better business insights.
One last question, Nitin. As organizations embrace this unprecedented growth, what are your thoughts for the organizations to ensure that aspects like sustainability really don't get on a back burner?
First off, Rajiv, we need to acknowledge that the tech sector has generally been ahead of the curve when it comes to ESG. Now, that said, the ESG performance of tech companies is under huge scrutiny from customers, from employees, and investors. And this scrutiny, I believe, will only increase as the shrillness on net zero carbon emissions increases and as regulations get tougher. I think there's an immediate opportunity to double down on a couple of areas. The first is commitment to green software. The consumption of electricity by data centers is expected to skyrocket from 1% of global electricity demand currently to over 8% over the next 10 years. Early pilots indicate that green software can help reduce energy consumption by over 50%. This is an important area for innovation and for investment. The second area is digital resilience, especially as it relates to security and privacy. At EY, we conducted a survey recently of over 1,000 global executives, and 55% said they had sidestepped cyber processes and controls to facilitate remote working. 75% said the number of disruptive attacks, such as ransomware, had increased. So getting cyber governance right and getting data protection right for all stakeholders, including customers, is going to be critical. The third is helping develop solutions and platforms for driving the ESG agenda. And while many IT services companies have set up ESG practices already for serving customers, we believe there's a lot more opportunity here, especially around ESG data collection, reporting, and enabling transparency through technologies such as blockchain. So ESG is not about being in the red in order to go green. It's a strategic imperative. And as leading tech services companies have demonstrated already, it's an opportunity to do well by doing the right thing.
Thank you, Nitin. That was extremely insightful. We spoke about the talent transformation and how organizations will really have to embrace it, connected enterprise, and eventually the sustainability, just so the enterprises don't lose sight of sustainability as they embrace growth. It was extremely insightful, and we thank you for your time and look forward for the next interaction.